Tell you what, man, we were watching, Daniel and I were talking about the stuff we like to study. See, I'm not just a passive Christian. I follow Jesus and I study the Word and I study it from cover to cover and I believe what it says, just like my dad did. When somebody told him, when he was 23, that my dad's name is George, he said, George, it's not a religion I'm talking about. It's not a bunch of do's and don'ts and following some pastor or some denomination. It is a relationship with God Almighty who created the heavens and the earth and knew you before you were in your mother's womb and called you and is giving you a free will to answer. It's called a relationship with Jesus. And my dad, see, he grew up in a very staunch religious Catholic family, and he came to know Jesus and his mom disowned him. And I never really knew my grandmother Calhoun, but my dad gave his life to serving the Lord, and he's been a minister of the gospel, the good news of Jesus, for 40 years. And I am one of his greatest accomplishments. That's not boasting about me. That is simply what one man's decision can do for the lifetimes of people all over the world. You see, I do believe that we are in a war for your soul. It's not just Sunday morning church. It is not just a bunch of worship songs. It's not what being a Christian means. Being a Christian means that I say no to everything that isn't about what Jesus came to live and die for. Just like all your favorite Avengers movies, The Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, there is an element of truth in what those have. They all talk about redemption. And yes, there is the supernatural, prophetical that most churches and most Christians don't like to talk about. But the world's talking about it. And we need to wake up to that. You believe Jesus was talking about before he came and walked the earth? Well, all the rest of the Bible talks about it. And we are living in those days right now. And we need to band together as the most powerful army in the world. My dad says, being a pastor, we're the only army in the world that shoots its own wounded. We need to stop being that, fighting amongst ourselves, and we need to hit our knees in the morning. We need to stand for the truth. We need to stand for the rights of the unborn. We need to pray for our leaders. We need to be a bridge for people in Jesus' name. And each one of these songs that we write, KG52 and DJ P-Dog, and the pastors at Ground Zero, and many of you tonight, I know, stand with us. And if you're on the fence and you think this whole Jesus thing is just an opportunity for us to come and sell some t-shirts, well, I got 300 girls at home. That selling t-shirts doesn't make enough.